Well, we're going to be visiting with Brian Hoops. He is the president of Midwest Market Solutions in Springfield, Missouri. He joins us now via Skype. And Brian, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that so much. Wanted to get a quick update from you on how conditions are in that part of the Corn Belt there in southern Missouri. What's going on?
Well, we've had some rain over the last couple days, so there's been very little activity as far as much field work being done, but it's going to get much warmer, and so we expect, a lot of pasture land and some hay that's going to be doing real well after the moisture and a lot of this heat that's bringing into the Plains states here.
Okay, on my commodity wrap show that aired last night on our sister channel, Rural Radio, channel 147 on Sirius XM, we had a chance to visit with an analyst from Texas. And that analyst was telling me that they had clients harvesting corn as far north as Dallas and up into Arkansas. I was kind of surprised to hear that the corn harvest was moving that far north already. Wondered if you had heard anything in that regard.
Some of our clients in Central Texas are actually getting very close to finishing their corn harvest. So they're wrapping things up, and then the harvesters are moving north, and we're going to hear probably some harvest results out of southern Kansas before too much longer in Oklahoma. Our clients in Arkansas are not talking about a lot of harvest, but they are talking about a lot of rain, and they've had some flooding in northern parts of Arkansas.
Okay, let's take a look at our current prices. And of course, obviously, we threw that grain market into a tailspin after USDA had their latest crop production report. Way higher yields than the trade was looking for, but I guess we have to live with it for at least a month until we get a new update and a new formula out there in the field. On the corn market right now, let's go ahead and check the prices in Chicago. We have September slipping a little further even than where we were before. We're down 5 3/4 now at 357, only one tick off our low of the day. And December down 5 3/4, and it's now down at 370.5, only one tick from its low of the day as well. In the soybean trade, as we jump over there, we have September down 7 at 925 3/4. That's a penny from its low today. And November new crop down 10.5 at 927 3/4, only 2 ticks from its low of the session. We're off our high from last night by almost 12 cents now. This is getting fairly serious when you look at the collapse that we have had in the soybean market in just the last week's time. How do you talk with your producers out there that call in and say, how do I market my new crop now?
There's a lot of frustration among producers right now because, pretty uniform that the corn crop is very mixed at best case scenario and probably a very poor crop in a lot of areas. The soybean crop, if you look at the ratings that came out yesterday, that suggests that we have the second lowest ratings in the last 10 years, but yet the USDA last week said that we had the highest soybean yield in the month of August ever in history. So there's something that doesn't make a lot of sense. It's very frustrating to producers. Now, hopefully some of them got some crops sold above that $10 mark. There is a crop insurance guarantee in the last spring at $10.17. So that gives them a little bit of comfort, a little bit of peace of mind that they do have some guarantee there through the crop insurance and maybe some sales. But I think as we get into the harvest data, it's going to reflect a much poorer corn crop than what was expected, and that's the reason we've been telling our clients to hold on to that corn. Basis should improve as we go through the fall and the winter months.
Okay, let's take a look at our wheat market right now. And in Chicago wheat at the present time, on the board we have September down 8.5 at 432.5. And looking at Kansas City wheat, also under pressure today, we have September down 8 at 428 3/4. And on that Minneapolis market, the spring wheat trade, we have September now 14 lower at 656. And that is now 14 cents off our earlier high of the day. We'll come back in a moment, Brian, and we'll talk a little about the cotton market and our livestock trade as it stands right now when we come back. The entire soy complex is lower today, with soy meal over $2 a ton lower as well. So a lot of pressure all around in the grain complex today. We're talking with Brian Hoops. He's with Midwest Market Solutions, and I wanted to point out our cotton market, and then we'll get into livestock trade here. I don't want to leave that out. We have new crop December cotton, by the way, down 63 points, and it is important. We're getting down toward that 67-cent level now. We're at 67.12, only 2 points now from our low of the day. So another big drop here in the cotton trade today. All right, Brian, let's bring you back into the conversation here, and I want to get your thoughts on the cattle trade today. As we look at the live cattle market, let's get everybody updated on our futures quotes and find out what is driving this. We had a bit of a rebound here in the last report where we had the live cattle board. 2 or 3 contracts were over $1 higher. Right now you have October at 107.45. That is still up 85 cents on the day, but it is 40 cents off our earlier high this morning. And December gaining 87 cents at 109.67. Interestingly, that nearby August is about 20 lower. On the other hand, you look at feeder cattle trade today, and on the feeders, you have the September up $1.20 at 143.98, and October up $1.13 at 143.45. I've been talking with analysts quite a while about this relationship here between the feeder cattle market and the corn market, where they kind of have that inverse relationship at times. Is that what's going on today, do you think, or at least in part?
Yeah, I think that's the easy answer. Is you look at the feeder cattle market being higher, corn is weaker. Certainly there's a correlation there, and I think that's what a lot of the trade was looking at. As corn weakened in the overnight and in the morning hours, there's some buying interest that came into the feeder cattle market, spilled over into live cattle. I think we're badly oversold in live cattle. We're going to see some sort of a bounce in here. Some sort of a recovery is expected. I don't look for cash to have a real meaningful recovery, but at least in the futures market, we should see some sort of a technical bounce going forward here.
Yeah, the cash cattle trade that we wrapped up last week, I believe, around that 113 level, and that was several dollars under the previous week over there. Are you getting any rumblings as to where it may shake out here this week yet?
Well, I think you're looking at a steady, at best, type of cash market. The show list numbers are coming in larger than last week numbers. So you've got some big numbers coming at this market here over the next several weeks. And with supplies starting to increase, that's a real concern. You know, you had a big slaughter week last week, about 10% more than at this time last year. And those numbers aren't really expected to back off at all as we go into the third and the fourth quarters. In fact, they may increase if the cattle weights continue to increase as well because of the cheap corn.
Okay, on the lean hog trade, we have been taking off here on a couple of contracts. October is still up $1.17 in value. We're now at 70.35, so solidly above that $70 benchmark that it's been struggling to get up to. Finally, that August contract went off the board yesterday, and it kind of freed it up to move the way it seems. December now $1 higher at 64.50. Brian, thanks for the input on the markets. Covered a lot of ground. I appreciate that very much. You have a great trading week out there.
Thanks, you too. Good talking with you, Marlon.
Very good. Brian Hoops, president of Midwest Market Solutions. So the hog market's flying high on the nearbys.
All right, at least for now. We know things can change, as we've seen over the past couple days.
They get the gold star today.
Thank you so much, markets editor Marlon Bowling.